Hello, 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 hello. Welcome once again to the button. Share it with a friend, you know, share it with a friend and let them know that the Tentis channel is on and then just share it actually and you'll be blessed for it. Now, the first thing we are talking about is mockery. Whenever there's a conversation and you mock your spouse for her accent, for her diction, for her dialect, you mock her logic, you mock her reasoning, you mock his logic, his reasoning, you mock his accent, such a person will just stop talking because nobody loves to be made a laughing stock. You can laugh with someone, but laughing at someone is not the best. The Bible calls that behavior cause joking. Stop cause joking because it kills conversations and relationship. Laugh with somebody, don't laugh at someone. Don't make a fool of someone, especially not in a relationship, not in a friendship, not in a marriage. The second thing which kills conversation in a relationship is definitely when there's criticism. Everything the person says, you have a negative commentary about it. How he says it, when he said it, where he said it. You're always criticizing things he has said. When your husband, wife begins to realize that everything he says is like will be used against him or here in the court of law, such a person will stop talking because remember what the police say when they arrest you said they say you have a right to remain silent, you know. Otherwise, everything you say will be used against you in the court of law. So once you become a critique of your spouse's, statements and conversation, that spouse will stop talking because he or she does not want what he or she says to be used against him or her later. So just stop chatting and just converse, and the truth will come out as the conversation unfolds. You are not a detective. You are not interrogating him. You are not interrogating her. So just have a conversation. Okay? The third thing which kills conversation that keeps the person occupied and it keeps the person from having conversations. It keeps the person from having conversations. You see, such a person will not be in the mood to have a conversation because that person is thinking about that secret that may affect the relationship that has occurred behind the blind side of one of the parties of the relationship. So that one will be another reason why people have difficulties talking in the relationship, kills relationship conversations. Now the fourth one is that when there's an undecided, an unresolved issue, you had a fight, you had an argument, you think that well everything is fine because you are the extrovert and you like to unbutton, you like to actually free yourself and speak your mind and think everything is fine. But the more introvert person will still be brooding over the issue. And because he or she is brooding over the issue, the person will be forthcoming with conversation. To realize that you're trying to push a person coming, why are you so quiet? The person said nothing. Why are you not saying anything? The person said nothing. Please, it's dangerous. When an introvert is saying nothing, it means the person is thinking a lot. And that conversation must be forced out, albeit gently, so that it can be dealt with. Otherwise, it can grow to be a monster against your relationship. Now, a fifth conversation killer in a relationship is when one couple is just what do you call it? It's couple keep telling each other what they can or cannot talk about. When you're in a situation where you raise this topic to discuss, it is like, no, don't go there. You raise this topic about parents, don't go there. This topic about siblings, don't go there. This person talk about school, don't go there. This person about friends. So over time, this no-go areas begin to cover the entire spectrum of your conversations. Right? There's no more a place that you can converse anymore because all the conversations have been declared no-go areas. With that attitude, with that mindset, your relationship will be killed because the person will feel restricted. And because the person does not want to stray into your no-go area, then the person, your wife or husband, will not talk at all. So stop this thing of once you are married, there's nothing you can talk about. So the person sees your nakedness. How much more conversation? Your parents have become his parents. become her parents. Your siblings have become her siblings, his siblings. So, what is a conversation that you can talk about? Don't talk about my past. Don't talk about my dad. No, please explain. Be open, so the person can talk more. The sixth conversation killer in a relationship is when the couple lose mutual respect for each other. So once you stop respecting each other, you no feel obliged to talk to each other. You no more have the joy and the honor of speaking to your spouse because you don't more respect each other. Because you know any conversation you start may easily degenerate into a fight, degenerate into an argument. So because there's no longer mutual respect, your conversations will die out naturally. That would be the beginning of the end of that relationship. Now, the seventh killer of conversations in a relationship is when the couple's interests and motivations are no longer aligned to each other. You ask me how that's possible. It's very possible. You will start relationship where both of you are God fearing, God loving, and the rest. And over time, one of you will drift away from God or backslide. The person's motivations for church and the things of God will completely go down, and yours will still be on fire. And because the person does not want to start a conversation that will expose his or her new lack of interest in what you interested in, the person will not talk much because you are no longer a person that he really can converse with. You don't have interest. Your interests are no longer aligned, and your motivations are different. You see, the person will be now be talking to outsiders, like-minded people, more and more. That's why we say you should be careful about conversations because out of the conversations, it can corrupt good manners. So once you see your husband or wife not being interested, not really interested in conversing with you, it may be a sign that that person is no longer interested in the things he or she used to be interested in, is no longer interested in the things you are interested in. And that's a very dangerous situation. It's time for deep prayer. It's time for a lot of wisdom to be able to draw out what the problem is and deal with it. So that was the seventh. Now, the eighth conversation killer is when at least one of the spouses is cheating. One of the classic examples of cheating is when a couple suddenly stop talking, especially when the couple suddenly becomes at loggerheads with the spouse. You know, many men do that a lot. Um, once they are once they are having an affair and they don't want the wife to question them, one of their most effective tool is to just stop every conversation so that that issue will not even come up for you to even discuss it. So that's another sign. If your husband suddenly stop talking to you, you know that another woman could be involved, another relationship could be involved, and you need to start praying about it. You need to start finding out what is going on and dealing with it from the root. So the number nine conversation killer is when there's or the one thing nine thing that kills interest in relationship is when one party is no longer interested in the relationship. Sometimes a partner can be cheating because it's a habit, but he or she still wants to have the relationship. But there are partners or their husbands or wives who may not be interested in the relationship anymore. And when it happens like that, they are not interested in having a conversation any longer. They're not interested in engaging in a conversation because the mere side of you, the mere words that you say are all unpleasant to them because you're no longer interested, no longer excite them because they might have found somebody else or they have fallen in love out of love with you or they may have been drawn into some lust outside and they are preoccupied with that one. So when one of the party is no longer interested in the relationship, it leads to lack of conversation. It kills your conversations flat out. I mean, I'm saying all these things that you have to watch out for these things in the relationship because people normally say that I don't know what happened. All that all I realize is that he's packed out. All I realize is that look, there are always things. And one of the first, in fact, the canary that that announces that that there's danger in a relationship One of the surest canaries is the health of a conversation. It's very difficult to have a healthy conversation with somebody you don't respect, somebody you don't desire, you don't love, somebody you don't have interest with, somebody who's criticizing you all the time, somebody who's mocking. It's very difficult. So once conversations have stopped, you should know that something terrible is happening, something terrible has gone wrong. And one of them is that one of the husband or wife is no longer interested in the marriage. That's one of the signs. So that's a sign that the ninth sign that the relationship is conversation in the relationship is being killed. The last one, the tenth one, of course, is when one party or both parties in the relationship or in the marriage and are not happy. In other words, both of them are dissatisfied with each other. In other words, both of them do not seem to appreciate the love being shown or seem to believe there's no love being shown at all. I seem to believe there's something fundamentally wrong with the relationship or seem to believe that there's a fundamental misunderstanding. These people are not interested in the relationship. These people are not happy. They don't want to be in a relationship. And because they are not happy, they don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to talk. You realize that they may be in the same house and not talk for days or hours. And their conversations are only yes, no, yeah, why, yes, okay, that's all. Because they don't want to give themselves again to their estranged spouse. And conversation, especially for women, is one way they give themselves to a man, give their ear to a man because conversation works on them, works on their bodies, works on their mind, works on their feelings, you know. So please, these are the 10 conversation killers. Whenever your conversation is dying, one of these things is happening. The opposite is that if you don't want one of these things to happen, then make sure your conversations are strong because once your conversations are strong, once your wife can talk about anything with you, once your husband can talk about anything with you, once your husband gives you attention in conversation, your wife gives you attention in the conversation. Once there's mutual respect, once there's love, once there's desire for each other, conversations will always be strong. Once there's faithfulness to each other, you can talk about anything, you can raise any topic, and there's no raising your eyebrow. There'll be no go areas in your conversation. And you'll have a blissful marriage. You'll have a very strong, healthy, relationship, caution leading to marriage. God bless you even as you learn from the 10 conversation killers in the relationship. Please don't let someone kill the conversation you're having. Don't let somebody kill the conversation in your marriage. Because God is counting on you to raise a godly seed. God bless you for watching and please subscribe. God bless you. God bless you so much. Stay blessed.